Greetings, Goddess Body Mind Spirit community. This is Tyra Omilade, your Goddess Guru, your sister friend. Y'all know I'm here with the Jihad this morning because I love helping women align with their life purpose using the power of ancient wisdom and the goddess-centered lifestyle, baby. What's up, Jihad? Come on, Jihad. Bring it. We here. Every day something has tried to kill me, but it has failed. Let's do this. Y'all dancing out there with me? Bring it. Bring it. How y'all doing, goddesses? I see some of y'all been here. Oh my gosh, y'all are here. Good mornings, greetings to the Goddess Felicia. Buenos dias, Paulette. Greetings, Grand Rising, Latasha. Hi, Latasha. Okay, I just want to make sure I said Latasha. And good morning, Natasha. Yeah. Who are me and Paulette going to see at the retreat? Huh? Libra, baby. Folks be sleeping on Libra. Folks sleep on Libra, but Libra make everything better, okay? Where my Libras in the house? We going into Libra season today. All right, I'm going to need the Libras to raise your hand and represent Team Libra. Sun, moon, rising. Bonjour, Diza. Welcome. It's going to come back, y'all. It's going to come back because we got to make sure we speak to everybody. Here she is. Hey, Ocean Kimmy. Welcome. Yes. Hello. The Queen Gary is in the house. Good morning. Yes. We got the G-Hive, baby. Yes. Okay. Look at this. My home girl. What's up, Lurlyn? What you doing, girl? I'm Nash Vegas, baby. Okay. I'm from Mississippi. Memphis used to be north of Mississippi. It used to be like the top part of Mississippi. We used to live to go to Memphis. Y'all, welcome, Lurlyn. Welcome, Goddess. Glad you are here. We gotta represent down here. All right, what's up to my sister friend, Sandy? Bonjour. Watching from work. That's what's up, mama. That's what's up. Okay, wait a minute. These Paulette giving my lessons. Kijan Wuye. Wait. Come on, help us sister out, these. I tried. Okay, Shan in the house. Thank you. Represent the Libras, please. From Dallas, baby. All right, that's what's up. So happy that y'all are here. Thank y'all so much. I'm excited to be here. Feeling optimistic today. It's been rough. I'm just being 100 with y'all. It's been rough. Swoon. I'm always happy to know that I've made the correct pronunciation. So yeah, let's go on ahead and start getting into our what I want to do today is to make sure I take us through a mindfulness practice, because those mindfulness practices, wow, y'all know I'm all into the subconscious mind. And once we bring ourselves on board with the subconscious mind, then it makes change easier. It's why one of the things that I'm learning, and it's just different ways of engaging the subconscious mind, is sometimes, well, my teacher was like, we should be able to hypnotize you one time and it's done. We need to make sure we believe, we have to go into hypnosis helping our clients understand that when you get hypnotized, it is done. And I do believe in that. I've had major shifts and changes when I went to my training at the top of this year, and even last year. It's amazing when we go into hypnotherapy, and it was just us practicing on one another. But once we do engage that subconscious mind, it makes change easier. And so this is one of the reasons why I give the tracks, because the hypnosis tracks, because I don't know how to explain it other than because I'm still learning about in these hypnosis streets. But a lot of times when we get the hypnosis tracks, it's like listen to them day in and day out, right? Because hypnosis um is very subtle, and it makes things, shift very subtly. It's like you just wake up and you just are a little less like snacky if you're working on like curbing your snacks. But it's all about that subconscious mind and getting the subconscious mind to wrap around what you want. But mindfulness engages the conscious mind. So my point is we need both. We need both the subconscious work that we do. We have to learn how to work with our subconscious mind and get it to get on board, get online with what we're doing. And part of that is, we got to just deal with some of the stuff that's in the subconscious mind. But what I have found is I have to have both hypnosis as well as mindfulness, okay? Cuz our conscious mind, which is the most limited part of ourselves, because the conscious mind honestly is working at the beck and call of the subconscious mind. And so, because most of us don't know how to train our minds, we've never been taught this. We always have compassion for ourselves, and we don't feel guilty about anything. We just keep learning and applying what we're learning, testing it out, see what works best for us. And because we're just moving in the direction of our destiny, we don't have time for guilt and all that, right? Unless it's appropriate. Sometimes we do need to be a little bit guilty, feel a little bit guilty, because it helps us to realize this is not a direction. This is not okay. I shouldn't do this, right? But for the most part, we're just talking, right? So our minds are runaway trains. That's the majority of us just have a mind that's just going here, they are bouncing. And I listen to my mind as great and mighty as I look, as the spiritual guide and coach and priestess Tyra. I'm every day in the trenches, every day. I am having to call my mind back and be like, why are you thinking about this? You got all these tools. This is unacceptable, right? So it has to be day in and day out. I'm into spiritual fitness. I'm into emotional, mental, physical fitness, all these levels of fitness. And so mindfulness is so good for us. And we've kind of gotten on and talked about a lot of good stuff here lately. But I was like, I want to make sure I get us back to our foundation of mindfulness. We'll talk a little bit about the astrology too. I'm going to look at y'all's comments in just a moment, but I do want to share just what Paulette had mentioned, and I would love for you all to join, even if you can't be here. I need to put this on here. The replay is always available, always available. Okay, but this is, and I'll just drop this into um, the chat. But the replay is always available. Anywho, what I do at each retreat is I do my best to make sure we retreat, where we take that time to go within and do things that are more introspective and healing, energy work, journaling, and we're having questions, conversations around what I like to call potent questions that make us go within and find the answers. That subconscious mind, baby. That's a lot of what this helps us to access. And where you really get out and you feel nourished and you have that clarity, because a lot of us are just spinning in circles. We're just going around and around and around. So part of the retreat is dedicated to that. The other part of the retreat is dedicated to helping you to understand how can you maximize the energy of this Libra moon. Every new moon in Libra is totally different. Next year's new moon in Libra will be very, very different. Like last year, when the sun was in Libra, Mars was in Libra. Mars is not in Libra this year, but Mars is doing the most. Okay. Anywho, we'll talk about that. But yeah, I hope that y'all join me in the new moon retreat or via replay. And inside is always some goodies. So for instance, um, I put in there a hypnosis, and I'm still working on choosing it, but it's going to be a hypnosis that's leaning more towards being prosperous because that's the theme. We're looking into living a prosperous life, the fullness of prosperity, because I know sometimes people think it's just money, but the fullness of a prosperous life. Um, I put already created the subliminal track, and all of it is kind of geared towards things that Libra is about, as well as being abundant. Also this time I included a printable. You have to download it and all that kind of good stuff. It's not anything I'm going to send you, but a prosperity and abundance and prosperity deck, along with an ebook that hopefully eventually I'm going to create a whole workshop around. But you're going to go on ahead and get the ebook now. 8-step process to manifesting your goals and inner potential, because I want to seal in the theme of prosperity. So it's Libra is prosperous. All right, y'all. Let me tell you, you're not gonna be meeting a whole bunch of broke Libras. And if you do, they don't like it. Libra is about refinement. And it is a sign that kind of has to do with money because it's more of like one-to-one relationships and like coaching and helping people with what is going on, but you can like make it very specific. The other thing that I want y'all to know, because last week we talked about business well, the whole time we talked about having your own business, working for yourself. And most people struggle with feeling sleazy with sales. Oh, thank you. Oh, wow. Thank you, Lerlin. I appreciate you. Thank you, Goddess, for your super chat. Um, so most of us are um don't want to come off as sleazy. Most of us don't want to do sales, right? Um, and so how do you not do that? Well, you make connections. You get connected to people, you get to know people, and you make sure you let them know this is how I can help you. Libra, if you want to learn how to have a business where you don't feel like you're sleazy in sales, which, all of us, I want y'all to think about how much you've bought this week. Sales is not sleazy, it's service. Anywho, Libra can help us, but Libra's also this mind, it's very mental. It's a lot of mental stress and stuff that we're feeling right now because Mercury retrograde is turning up. Like, I'm like, why Libra? I mean, why Mercury retrograde? Why are we doing this? But anywho, let me be quiet because I don't want Mercury to answer me. Anywho, um, but it's like this is one of the reasons why I want to make sure I focus on our mindfulness today. And what else I want to tell y'all about Libra? Oh, this Libra is an opportunity to have a fresh new start, right? Because a lot of us might be feeling a bit stuck and stagnant. We're getting closer to the end of the year. We've been working on goals. We've been distracted and sidetracked and then brought ourselves back to the goals. We may have just had a whole bunch of stuff happening. Um, but every time we start a new season, it's a new beginning. So we have a new moon and a new season, right? It is truly, you can reset yourself. And actually in the what I included in the what do you call it? The retreat guide. This is it, the retreat guide. What I included in the retreat guide for you all is a way to look at like, what do you want this quarter to be about? What do you want this season? Libra season. And then after Libra comes Scorpio, and after Scorpio comes Sagittarius. These next 3 months, what do you want the theme to be, right? What do you want the quarter to be about? Maybe I'll start doing like some quarterly planning sessions where we kind of talk about how do we plan using astrology, all that kind of good stuff. And I know I always thought all these ideas, and I really need to make sure I actually do something about it. But anywho, yes, join me in the retreat. I hope that I have been able to answer, some questions. I really it always just makes my day when someone gives me a super chat. I'm like, oh my gosh. Hey, Bliss, how are you? How are you? Uh, Wealth Rising, how are you? Okay, she's a retired entrepreneur, and I bet you and she's also artsy. Your mom is very creative, but let me tell y'all, Libra is such a good sign for, like, doing contracted work. Let's say you want to be some type of contractor, or maybe you want to, be a consultant of some sort. That's Libra. That's Libra. Okay, Virgo, Bliss. All right, Bliss. Let's see here. Okay. I think what I'm gonna do is, yeah, let's just do this without music. We need quiet. We need quiet. Okay. So, well, let's go on ahead and then we're going to talk about a happy pocket full of money after this. But go on ahead and begin to get yourself situated so you can get all settled in for our mindfulness practice. Let's start off just with a little bit of breath work. We're going to take a nice big inhale and a long, slow, deep breath out. I'm going to take a deep breath in, inhale, and a long, slow, deep breath out. Inhale, and make your exhale a little bit longer than your inhale. Inhale and exhale. So I just want to invite us all to imagine that we're all standing around a circle. In the middle of the circle is a fire. We also see an ankh. I feel like putting an ankh there somewhere in the middle of the fire. We're all holding hands. And I want you to see a golden white thread begin to weave from your heart in and out through all the hearts of the sisters who are here. And I'm even gonna like hold energy that the hashtag replay sisters are here. We just feel our hearts connecting, bringing ourselves together in our virtual circle, our sacred cipher. And as we are holding hands, and now I want you to see us sitting down, I want you just to feel yourself being held by Mother Earth. Feel yourself being held by your feminine ancestors of light as they surround you and hold you. Just feeling held together by the Great Mother, our women ancestors, the goddess on earth, Gaia, Pachamama. Yes, dropping ourselves more and more into this moment, knowing that there is medicine in this circle for us all today. Taking a deep breath in, inhale, exhale, and just bringing your awareness to your body. Bringing your awareness, your attention to what is happening in your body. What are any physical sensations? Noticing, is your mind racing? And we don't have to worry about any of the thoughts that are there, just noticing Just bringing awareness to your body, to your emotions, to your mind. Relaxing more and more. And what I want to focus on today is self-compassion. I have found that the more we bring in self-compassion, we are just always taught about it's better to give than to receive. And I ask you, how is that working for you? For me, I have to give to myself. It's one thing I've learned. When I fill up my cup, I'm so much better at showing up in the world for other people. And one cup that I think a lot of us have that is very much empty is the self-compassion cup. So let's go on ahead and fill up our self-compassion cup. Take a deep breath in, inhale, and exhale again, allowing yourself to relax, releasing any tension just by letting it all go. And take one more deep breath as if you were breathing into your heart, your stomach, and all the way to your legs. And release as you exhale. Now gently place your right hand on your heart and your left hand on your womb space. And imagine, what would it feel like right now if I were to hold myself with a little more compassion? What would it feel like right now if I were to hold myself with a little more compassion? And just notice your body's response. Now, there's no right way of experiencing this. Just explore what it's like to open up a little bit more to self-compassion. Just cut yourself a little bit of slack. What would that feel like? Giving yourself a break. What would that feel like? And explore this. What would it feel like in your body to receive kindness right now? And next, what would receiving compassion sound like? You might tune into a word or a phrase that feels compassionate and kind to you. What would receiving compassion sound like? What is the word or the phrase? And if nothing is arising just yet, or if self-compassion feels difficult to access, that's okay. This is just warming up to the idea. To strengthen your intention regarding self-compassion, let's repeat these phrases. You can repeat them silently or out loud to yourself. Here we go. May I be kind to myself. May I be gentle with myself. May I be at ease. May I be compassionate to myself. Okay, now as you continue to sit with your hand on your heart and womb space, consider what would the experience of compassion feel like as a sensation in your body? What would it feel like? Would it be an experience of warmth, softening? Would it be a softening? A stroking of your cheek? A hug from a loved one or spiritual guide? See if you can allow your body to explore the physical experience of compassion and what it would feel like to receive this care. And if you like, you can experiment with feeling these sensations, feeling this care, just by wrapping your arms around your body and giving yourself a hug. You could even put both hands up here on your shoulders and rock if you want. Rub yourself. Extending that self compassion to your own self. Maybe you want to stroke your cheek. Maybe you stroke your arm. Maybe even your feet. And you could imagine kindness flowing in with each breath you take. How can you experiment with feeling compassionate towards yourself? And rub yourself. Maybe even add in that phrase. For me, my phrase was, it's okay. The other phrase is, you're enough. You're enough. It's okay. Sometimes I do that. Extend yourself some compassion, sister. You deserve it. And just notice if there's been an opening within yourself. Compassion today. How much more self compassion is in your self compassion mug? Doesn't matter if it's small or you had an outpouring of self compassion, it's all good. Self compassion actually can be very mentally challenging, especially for those who experience trauma early in life. But it is definitely a healing balm that you can continue to work to activate in your life. And the good news is just by being here, You have planted the intention in your heart and mind. And so just continue to water it. Remind yourself to be compassionate. Remember our phrase is, may I be kind to myself? Ask yourself, am I being kind to myself right now as you go about your day? May I be gentle with myself. Notice the words that you say moment by moment and ask yourself, is this being gentle? Take time each day to just say, right now, I'm going to be at ease. Be easy about it. Just invite ease in. Just as you would be compassionate to someone who you felt was down on their luck, be compassionate to yourself. Even if you're not down on your luck, extend yourself compassion. And I want you to be like the goddess Ma'at teaches. She is a spiritual scientist. I remember once hearing a great teacher say, don't take my word for it, test it, test everything. So that's what Ma'at teaches. Test it. See what life is like, beating yourself up all the time, and see how different it is when you offer yourself compassion. And choose the one that renders the best results. Take a deep breath in, inhale, and a long, slow, deep breath out. Inhale, and bringing yourself back to this now moment. Hope that was nice for you all. I'm just going to play just a little bit of just a nice little softness to bring ourselves back. And welcome to the goddesses who arrived once I got started. You have your morning beverage. I'll call my vitamin water. Maybe you need to move a little bit and stretch. Welcome, welcome. I better set my timer. Mercury retrograde has me so what's the word I want to say? Forgetful. Mercury retrograde got me so forgetful. Yeah, I decided to drink out of the mug that says, be the one who is brave enough to go after her dreams. I feel like I'm in such a big up-level moment. It's such an eclipse moment. Oh my goddess. So, let me pull this up. How was that mindfulness practice for you all? I feel better. I can tell you that much right now. Right now. Okay? Right now. Lillian and all the sisters from the South, y'all hear me talking like we talk down here? Right now. Right now. Okay, so let me tell y'all this. The eclipses are in, as y'all well know, Scorpio. Well, maybe I shouldn't say y'all, as y'all well know, but y'all have heard me talk about these eclipses. I got a whole series going on in my newsletter talking about this. But we have the North Node in Taurus, and we have the South Node in Scorpio. Everybody has this going on in their chart. And if you came to the retreat that was in May, I think that was when I had this one, the one in Taurus. Go back and review this because we're getting ready to go back into eclipse season pretty soon. But this eclipse here, this part of the eclipse is called Rahu. I want y'all to look up Rahu, Rahu. In Vedic astrology, the North Node is called Rahu. And the South Node is called Ketu, 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 Ketu. So Rahu is the part of the eclipse that's like go in a new direction, do something new. But the part about Rahu that is wild is the story was Rahu was looked at like when we look at Vedic astrology or whatever, we just have to not be moved and phased by some of the ways things are described. So it was considered to be a demon. And they back in the day, Rahu was not good because Rahu was kind of like not kind of like Rahu was an opportunist. Rahu was like, I'm gonna get to where I want to go by hook or by crook, baby, right? And so it wanted to become a god. And so Rahu, I can't remember the exact story, but it did something like posed as a god, and it worked for a while. I don't remember the full story, but it worked. And so Rahu is always like when we think about it in modern times, Rahu is where we end up going in this new direction, but we don't exactly feel comfortable with it. It is one of the most important points in our birth charts, to be honest with you. If you want to know what your life purpose is, then part of how we figure this out in astrology is we look at where is your North Node, your Rahu. And it is something where you will not feel comfortable. You won't feel comfortable. So this kind of goes back to what we talked about last week with our careers. Sometimes you're going to feel uncomfortable because the things that we're called to do, we haven't done them yet, right? And so it will feel uncomfortable. And these are the things that we have to do, like we have to know that so that we don't retreat and come back to our comfort zone, right? Which our comfort zone is actually K2 or the South Node. And so so Rahu was the head of it was this serpent, and the head and the bottom part of the serpent got connected, or this demon got chopped and disconnected. But those parts kept going, right? And so the head is voracious because it just keeps taking stuff in. But of course, it's not like there's no bottom part of the body to digest it or anything. So K2 is like voracious. It'll make you just go, 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 right? In this new direction. But sometimes you kind of feel like you're free falling because you don't know what you're doing. You posing. But eventually this is what you're supposed to do. This is a destiny point. This is more of like working with the energy of Oya, but you're going towards something, right? And when we work with Oya, it's so important for us to surrender. There's a lot of surrendering to the process. Now, the K2 part down here is the bottom of the snake. So there's no head. But there is this energy of purging and releasing, letting things go, but it's considered a comfort zone. If you kind of want to know, like, what are your gifts and your talents, I can assure you part of where you find it in the chart is wherever the South Node is. So for me, the South Node is in Virgo, and I just have a propensity for health and wellness. I'm good with taking care of like to-do list, as spacey as I can be as a Pisces. Like, give me some tasks you need to get done, they will get done, right? It's my comfort zone, and I was trying to hang out in this comfort zone, but my North Node was like, you can't hang out there. But it lets me know this is why I have this propensity for being Virgo like, right? So this is where the South Node is right now. It's in Scorpio. All of us need to be releasing and letting go. Let me look at the comments. I've just been going on and on. Now, this is what I want y'all to talk to me about for just a moment. What are you releasing and letting go? And this thing might feel painful because Scorpio it brings up all our crap. but this is the best time to be releasing and letting go. This is a time where a lot of us may feel uncomfortable, and that's a good thing. Like when our stuff gets brought up, as K2 is like, we getting ready to just clear house, baby, clean house. It's bringing up all this stuff that we can release and let go. So I want y'all to let me know, what are you releasing and letting go of? Okay, let me go come in here and speak to the stars. Grand Rising, Ocean Funke. How are you, Ia? Just in case you come back. Okay, I will do that, Maria. Good morning. I will let you all know. And it's coming. It's coming. Yes, Deeza, that is so true. Grand Rising, Veronica Queen. How are you? How's the Queen Sharmika? Yay! Glad to hear that you enjoyed that. Yeah, the mindfulness is amazing. That's how I feel too, Deeza. Aw, I feel more at ease. Lerlin, look at you, a Taurus with a Scorpio moon. I am a Scorpio rising with the Taurus moon. What's up, Queen? We got Tennessee in the house. Very good question. So when we think about eclipses, Sharmika, we're thinking about cycles, okay? So an eclipse cycle, we can look at it as about 6 months, because typically the eclipses are happening in signs that are opposite, like Taurus is opposite from Scorpio. So that they're 6 months apart, okay? That's automatically in astrology, that's one thing you will know, that all of these signs that are opposite, they're 6 months apart. So that cycle is, let's say in May, we had the cycle kick off with that Taurus eclipse, and it rises up, and where's the middle part? Leo. And then it starts going down towards Scorpio season. So now we're on the waning side of this eclipse. So it's already peaked. Now we're waning. And then once we get to Scorpio season, it's going to go up again. And then we come down. But the whole time that it's going to be in Scorpio and Taurus is typically, we say we're going to experience eclipses in 2 signs for about 15, 18 months. That's why they're so important, because they give us such a long period of time of intensity to work on whatever area of life is being worked on, right? And right now, God has blessed the Scorpios and the Tauruses we're going through right now. Oh, okay. I love how y'all are speaking to everybody. Ooh, that just makes me feel so happy and good. Mhm. Okay, so anywho, what is going on with me right now is this Rahu, this North Node. Man, I thought the South Node was whooping my butt, but this North Node. So I'm gonna tell y'all real quick, and then we're gonna get into a happy pocket full of money. Um, mm, mm, mm. So I am now on the trainer track inside a sistership circle. I went in there. I found it last year through one of my Priestess sisters. Sistership circle is all about running circles. And y'all know I had a membership. Some of y'all were in my membership. And that was essentially like this ongoing circle that happened. It was like weekly stuff that was going on. And I was creating course classes and readings and all kinds of stuff, right? And then finally I was like, I'm overwhelmed. I can't build it. It was like never growing. And so I finally was like, I can't keep doing this. It's just too much work. I'm gonna have to shift. And so I've mostly shifted to starting to do um, one-to-one coaching, but also I do a monthly circle. And I was like, I really want to keep the circle going. As y'all see here, I love this, right? And so I found this company, Sistership Circle, and I was like, this sounds exactly like, kind of like working with my godmother, but also it's not the same thing, you know? Anywho, it's very similar and it felt very familiar. And so I've just kind of dove in and I'm a level 1 certified circle facilitator. And I decided to join level 2, which is helping us learn how to be more like, how do I bring the women into the circle? And because I got in and I was like, this thing is lily white. I mean, it's people from around the world. This company is actually like very much around the world, which made it attractive to me. And the founder, the CEO, she's, you know, a white lady, but I don't know. It's like she gets it, right? So I was like, we need to have more for the women of color, and I want to lead this. And so now she was like, all right, we don't have a woman to leader trainer, so I'm a fast track you. I'm like, oh my God, I feel like this right now. Yeah. Oh my gosh, what have I got myself into? But I said, I'm here for it. That's my Rahu right now, baby. That Rahu got me feeling like, and that's another thing we have to get used to when we're up leveling. We have to allow our energy to get used to like this expansiveness because we cannot contract back down. Like we don't want to get scared when we're leveling up. We're gonna get scared, but we don't want to get scared to the point where we're like, this is too much greatness. I'm gonna shrink back down. I know we know this. I know we know this. Okay, Paulette, I've been feeling like I've just been releasing parts of myself that don't match my new direction. Exactly. I've been in between mourning these layers and moving on. Paulette, you're gonna be so happy you did that. I'm not gonna lie, because I know Paulette is an Aquarius. Aquariuses and Leos are going through. Natasha, I had a Sankofa experience. I was able to visit my mom's homeland. That's right. It was amazing. I stayed where the locals live and got the full experience of the city life and country life. Oh, wow. I am so happy for you. We remember you saying you were going there, Natasha. Okay, so Deeza says, we have to understand which types of work is too much for us and which type is rewarding without depleting our energy too much. Agreed. And that comes through testing. Good for you, Lurlyn. Going through it, but it's all good. It is all God and it is all growth. Thank you, Sandy. Uh, you want me to tell you something, Ia? Um, what ended up happening, this thing is going so fast because this lady has been launching for maybe since the 9th, before the 9th, actually, since September 4th. That's a long launch. Wow. But it takes that while. It takes a while, I feel like, with women. You know, if women are making investments in themselves, like sometimes we'll make the small ones, but we won't make the big ones unless we feel super confident. And oftentimes, your destiny requires you to make some investments, take some risk that you cannot calculate exactly how it's going to work out. But when you do, what will happen is the universe will be like, "Oh, she really wants it. She's willing to take this step." Without knowing exactly how this is going to work out. This is how much faith she has. That's entrepreneurship. That's relationships. That's health and well-being. Okay. When we're willing to take steps that we cannot calculate. Um, and so, you know, I don't know, like in her meetings, because I was helping her with her launch. Um, I was like, I'm willing to do a monthly meeting with the women of color during this process. It's a 3-month process. I'm willing to do 1 meeting per month. And she was like, boom, you officially in charge of all things women of color in Sistership Circle. And we're gonna put you in this meeting with the women of color. We're creating a special meeting, women of color only. I was like, this is what's up. And so it was just like, I cannot explain it. I can't explain it because we're here together. But the women of color in this group, they were just like in awe. And we were, you know, United Nations. They were in awe. of what it felt like to be talking all things goddess, all things women in circles and magic and mystery and all of that with other women of color. It was just really, really, it made me realize like I got to do this, even though I feel, well, Tanya even said it. Tanya is the CEO. She was like, You're being thrown into the deep end." I'm just like, okay. But I'm doing it not because I really want to just be up there by myself, but it's like somebody's got to do it. Mm-mm. Okay. Nice. Oh, I bet. Look, tell your mama we want to come down there, Natasha. I love that. Letting go of imposter syndrome. Mm. I listened to something about imposter syndrome recently. It's really a symptom of patriarchy. Yeah. And to a certain degree, Diza, imposter syndrome, one of the things I want us to think back is how we didn't used to have all these certifications and all this. It was just you in spirit. It was just maybe the oracle kind of indicated what people were supposed to do too to help folks know. But in a way, what I'm learning is that imposter syndrome is actually a good thing because when I feel like I'm an imposter, it just means I'm going for what I want and I don't have to have it all figured out. So I'm going to offer that to you. Tell me what that feels like as you think about it. Hmm. Bliss is letting go and releasing. Good bliss. I need to know who lives internationally. I'm trying to go everywhere. That's right, Ocean Kimmy. Okay. Ocean Funke says, I feel like I guess I can take this out. I feel like I'm swimming, so not resisting and leveraging the waves as they come. And all small dancing in the water, not struggling. Love that. If I don't put your comment up, it's just sometimes I don't put up the more sensitive comments. I like them to be just, I can read them, but I want y'all to just be able to be with it as we talk about it with you. Mhm. Natasha, you really been shifting. Now, I'm going to tell you about Natasha. She is a Gemini. Even Ia Ocean Funke, the Geminis, they were the ones who had to go in a new direction. And now they're leveling it out, okay? The Geminis are kind of like getting used to this newness and this new direction that their life is going in. So y'all keep going, Gemini. This is good. Thank you. It's interesting. At the time, I would talk to Ocean Kimmy quite a bit. She was in my coaching program, and uh, I was like, I feel like I'm going straight to the top. This is what I said last December, January, something like that. I was like, I don't know why I feel like I'm gonna go straight to the top. I even did readings, right? I do readings on everything. So I did a reading like, am I supposed to be a part of this thing? And the oracle is like Tahuti Posit, I mean Hatap, Ma'at Hatap, Gab Hatap. It's like always Hatap. Um, and so yeah, she was there. She witnessed me being like, I think I'm gonna go straight to the top. And here I am. She was like, you are. Okay. Okay, so let's go ahead. Mm, Natasha, spiritual visit. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about a happy pocket full of money. Okay, hold on one second, y'all. Yeah, fear of showing up authentically and be seen like she's changed to the people that know me. So, what will happen? I am going to put this one up because I think this is very good. So let's talk about and actually this brings in this book, A Happy Pocket Full of Money. So it's important for us to understand how reality really works. Let's talk about this, Paulette. Honestly, we're all just energy. You're not actually Paulette. You are the great divine in the body called that was named Paulette. Like I do believe we choose our names even to a certain degree because I know some people don't like their names, but largely I think that we give our names to our parents before we actually come here. Anywho, you have been labeled Paulette with all the different, indicators that got set up in your identity because you're in a physical body. But what does um what do spiritual laws say, right? What does metaphysics say? Metaphysics says you get the experience that you like. It's an out picturing. I love this word, out picturing, because it's like whatever we see on the inside, whatever we're experiencing on the inside, then this is what we're going to get on the outside. And so, in a way, I feel like the more you are authentically who you are, people are just going to conform to it. And this is just something that's just new to you. And once you get to that point of seeing how much more prosperous and abundant and healthy, and you have that peace of mind and you feel at ease, all the things we've been talking about, and you feel, this wellspring of self-compassion, all of this stems from authenticity. That will make you say, I do not care what anyone thinks about me. I don't care if they think I've changed. They will conform to the new me. That's just how it is. But you have to get comfortable with it inside of you first. This is very, very important. And if you out picture, but I'm happy. If you out picture, but look at how at ease I am. If you out picture, but look at, all the, you have so much more success, whatever that means for you in your life, then the people will either just accept it, even though it's not, they may not be like, yeah, I approve, but they'll accept it, or they will, they just, they'll be like, this is amazing. Can I get some of that? Some people will fall by the wayside, but what's more important, your happiness, you feeling good about you, or what other people are thinking? See, the thing that we have to remember about our parents, especially, it sounds like you have good parents because you care a lot about what your parents think. And that's part of like the makeup of being a human. Our parents are very important to us. They will always love you. They gonna always love you, right? I got an aunt who probably thinks, something's wrong with me. She still love me, even though I was like, I'm gonna do me. I'm not doing that spirituality you doing. She very much into Christianity, but not in a. She's like over the top, in my opinion. Um, but she still love me. If my aunt will still love me, your parents gonna love you, and they're gonna be so happy for you. And on the day you die, do you want to say, this is what I always say to myself, to anyone who's struggling with this. On the day I die, do I want to say I was most faithful to all these other people over here, or me and my destiny? That's all that's it. When I say that, that's what I'm going for. So it doesn't even matter. I want to say that to you because I want you to ponder that. Does it even really matter? If they're like, she's changed, does it even really matter? It doesn't have to matter. And you need to keep trying it out, because then you're going to realize how much you just can put up a shield. You're just like, whatever. And after a while, it even becomes a little bit fun because you're so past what people think about what you think. You embrace what you're doing as correct, as right for you. Okay. When you embrace that, you will just be like laughing at people saying how wrong you are or whatever. You're just like, whatever. I mean, I know it's a process, but I just want to kind of build a little vision out there for you. Releasing parts of myself that I did not have a clear awareness existed. I love that. Much discomfort looking at my own BS, but fully all in cleaning it up. So scorpionic. I get rewarded, but being overwhelmed by the newness. Yes, Lurlin. This is such, because she is Taurus and Scorpio. This is like a perfect description of what is going on with those two signs right now. Yes, 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 yes. Yeah. I really believe a lot of times kids give their names. Okay. Yeah. I actually agree with that, Felicia. I really do. They'll be like, y'all, my child's special. But she my child. She my special child, you know? I've always been that like weirdo in my family, and they all like, "Wait, but she our real weirdo." Okay. Okay. Love that. Good. Okay. Yes. Don't and your truth is knocking at your door like, Paulette, what we gonna do? Like the way that you feel uncomfortable because your truth is like, girl, let's do this. Come on, Paulette. Let me Paulette and truth, baby. Your truth is rising up. Okay. So let's look at where are we? I don't even know. Okay, let's just look and see what we see here next. Okay, we know from that the entire, and I think this is important for us to kind of look at. We know that the entire universe came from a small subatomic particle like existence. It's been expanding. Um, so let's see here. The universe is continually giving birth to new universes. And I know that probably sounds odd to people, but the people who study whatever's going on in space, this is what they're talking about. Wasn't there recently a picture of maybe another galaxy or something that recently got shared? It was incredible to even wrap my mind around. Like we are truly in the age of Aquarius right now, y'all. Um okay, many physicists now see evidence of this type of multi-world behaviors. Let me turn on my multiple world behavior. I think that's important. And several interpretations of quantum physics to this effect exist. Mm, okay. But ask yourself, what part does spirit play, yourself, your soul? Could the choices be the cause of this observed chaotic splitting of the worlds? Einstein is one of the few physicists who refused to believe that all of what we see happens randomly or by chance. He refused to believe God plays dice. And I remember when I read that, I was like, okay, I refuse to believe that God plays dice because I want to believe that I can actually effect change in my life. And, yeah, I want to believe that. And so if God is not throwing dice, then that means that I need to figure out what do I do to be more deliberate. So, the quantum world is the real world. Now, this is a book that I read when I was probably about 30, somewhere in my mid 30s. And for me, yeah, it was like around 36. That is how I see things. In the Metu Netter, there is this energy called Amen. Yeah, it's the energy of Amen. Amen is the supreme deity. It is the no thingness. And I always tell people that's the real world because this is what I learned through the Metanata that there is only one energy. There's only one thing there. It's just consciousness, right? That is the real world. What we're in right now is a metaphysical, what's the word I'm looking for, y'all? Mm, mm, mm. Yes. We're in like a movie. I can't think of my word. I'm sure one of y'all's gonna give me my word. Mercury retrograde got me caught up. Holograph, thank you. It's a holograph. Um, and so the holograph extends from the real world, okay, which is the quantum world. And if the quantum world is the real world, so again, we are Ma'at. If the quantum world is the real world, then why are we so focused on what we see versus the energy that is behind what we see? And this is why we do our spiritual work. This is why we have our spiritual practices, is because what is unseen is dictating what is seen. And when we connect with it in a mindful way, an intentional way, then we're able to better create the reality that we want. But, sometimes what's there is stuff that we need to maybe kind of like release also. Okay. So the world you see with your eyes is simply an imperfect perception of a group of quantum activity, yet the quantum activity is caused by you. So this right here is what I want us to focus on. You are first cause. What does that mean to you? You are first cause. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being here. You are first cause. Aw. I love this, Natasha, so much. Wow. This is Felicia talking about ride or die parents. I love that, Felicia. Mm. Well, we are holding this energy for you, Queen. May it be so nourishing and healthy for you. So, what does it mean you are first cause? Let me see if anybody, I'm going to have to, okay. I understand. Okay. So, first cause, let me go on ahead because I know there may be a lag. Um, it's sometimes it's hard for me to talk this because I talk to so many women who have experienced some type of trauma. Women of color, well, women in general. The more I hang out with white women, the more I'm like, dang. Even though they have their white privilege, it's sad to hear the struggles. Sometimes I'm like, whoa, I thought you had it good. You do not. So anywho, with so many of us having experienced some type of trauma or being the recipient of what the world wants to oppress us, is difficult to talk about you are at first cause because it feels like, but they did this to me, right? And so it's never I invite we don't invite, well, this is my fault, victim blaming, that kind of thing. It's never about that. I want you to make sure that you see this in a more empowering way. Because when you accept that you're at first cause, you are never living at the mercy of anybody else. And it does take a little while to really get to this point. This is why we do our spiritual practices day in and day out. We take care of our mind and our body day in and day out. Um, but if we are going to be really aligning ourselves with higher spiritual teaching, then we have to remember that we are consciousness and a body. And therefore, if we want to see something different, because for a lot of us, the past has already happened, what are we going to do about it? The best thing we can do is to compost what has happened. What is the lesson in it? Because the other thing that I want to tell y'all is this notion of you are first cause. Then that means that your identity extends beyond what you know yourself to be. Whatever name is listed here, you have to know yourself beyond that. And when you know yourself beyond your physical identity, then what ends up happening is you can. I kind of got lost in talking about that. Hold on. Anywho, what I'm trying to say is composting. Thank you. So we want to look at what was the lesson and how can I move forward from there? Okay. You just want to put yourself in an empowered position because when we're too much from the position of they did this to me, they oppressing me, these kinds of things, they are hurting me. um, it is very difficult to compost that lesson. So we want to compost the wounding, I should say, so that we can get the lesson and move forward from there, and operating from this higher place. And sometimes when we even get to that higher place, we feel untouched. That was the other thing I've lost earlier. You feel untouched by the things that have happened to you. This is why sometimes it's like, how's this person just like, they moving on? They seem to be happy, but it sounds like they went through something very bad. Once you begin to operate from a higher identity, operate from this place of consciousness that you are the goddess in a body, divinity in a body, then you don't feel touched by the things that happen. You can almost say, okay, I see why that happened in my life, because I needed that to happen in order for me to get over here. Okay. So when we're looking at first cause, these are the ways that we begin to identify, to operate. It just becomes our way of being. Okay. So, and then you have to catch yourself day in and day out asking yourself, um, am I being at cause, or am I blaming something for somebody, blaming somebody else for what's going on in my life? Okay. You are the co-creator of your life. When you told me I was at first cause, it was an eye opener, and I'm grateful. Yes, it's very empowering, even in the face of thinking about, I've had so much crap happen in my life. Even right now, my life is crappy, I'm at first cause. So is there something there that had, and am I focused on something? Do I have some program that's running on the inside that speaks to crappy, right? That will allow me to that is creating this in my life. And so now I need to go into the metaphysical realm and begin to do that work. That's why this is why I do hypnosis. I have the NLP, the mindfulness. It is the inner game that will get us to where we want to be. And the first thing to do is to accept, I am at first cause. I am at cause for my life. I am not at cause for what other people do, but I am at cause for what's in my life. And I've just got to make sense of what's going on with me in order for me to move my life, whatever direction you want to go. Right. So, yes, your reality is what you think it into. You cause it. Who feels like this feels a little bit like victim blaming? Um, because it can feel that way. But once you start saying, I'm going to be more intentional, oh. Once you start saying, I'm going to be more intentional in my life. And so for instance, if you want to create your own business, we talked about this a lot last week, then it is you. It is all you. This is, you've got to look at, okay, I want this business. I'm creating this business. And then all your stuff starts coming up. Well, I remember this person let me down and that person let me down. And, who am I to do this or who am I to do that? That's really just you having to face a past version of yourself that is still in play and needs to be addressed in order for you, like, you got to release it, let it go, and move forward. Right. So, these are things that I want y'all to be thinking about. You really have to ask yourself moment by moment, what am I creating? Look at your thoughts. Look at your habits. What are you doing day by day? This is letting where you are in the creation process. Once you embrace the reality of that, you control. Boom. I should have just gone to the next comment. Once you embrace the reality of that, you control your destiny. Yes. Yes, I agree. 100. For children, this part right here, the things especially that happen to us in our childhood and our earlier years, That's to me where spirituality, that this is why I can never just do one thing, because I'm like, I got to find something that's going to explain this, right? Because this hurt. This really, like for people who experience trauma, it literally arrests your development in some kind of way. Um, my brain has been changed because of, the violence and the alcoholism that I saw. And I feel sometimes like I have to kind of catch up. Whether it looks like that or not, trust and believe. Ask my husband. He'd be like, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I don't even know. Um, that's where spirituality comes in. And, you know, opening ourselves up to the higher truths. And I remember one time I went through this process, and I was so clear about there is me that is this infinite being that has inserted herself in a body. And I said, yeah, my body experienced it. That persona, that part of myself experienced it, but my soul was never touched. Our soul can never be touched by what happens in this world. Our access to our soul might seem limited, or to, conscious awareness of the soul. We have access to it at all times, but our conscious awareness of it um, may be a little bit cut off. But that's where higher spirituality, working with the Orisha, and helping us to do all this clearing. And I don't know why, Deezer, but I just kind of heard like some of us come in here and we go way deep. We descend deep into the physical reality, and I'm not fully sure why. Like, why was what I do know now, though, because sometimes why is not the best question in these situations. It's more of like, so what? Like, what if it means this? Like, what kinds of questions that we can ask that will help us to get clarity on whatever has happened to us as children. But what does that, what, like, when we start composting it, then like some of us have dove deep, and then we're going to compost it, but that's now our power, because there's a lot of people diving deep exactly the same way, but they didn't make that comeback, right? So who knows. uh I thought it was going to show it on here, a happy pocket full of money. Yeah, thank you. Wealth is more than just money. Wealth is having family, yes, who loves you, having freedom to eat right, to connect with animals. I so agree. Yeah. Okay. So I've had many crappy things happen in my life from very early on. I've processed a lot of it to analyze and understand the patterns and lessons. Writing has always helped me in that. I love that, Diza. Yeah. Mighty networks. Um, I'll pull that up. Okay, let me see here. So first cause. Never think that what you see with your eyes is first cause. It's just an effect. Okay. They talked about this Schrodinger's cat. And suffice it to say that a lot of times we're going to see whatever we are leaning towards seeing. That's why sometimes when I'm like, everybody's against me, I'm like, okay, if you think everybody's against you, then that's exactly what you're going to experience. It's like it's always this bias that we're going to have. Um, but essentially, we just have to remember that all possibilities exist. And the question is, which one are we going to most align with? Okay. Which one are we going to most align with? So y'all can read about Schrodinger's cat, because I don't all the time like talking about it, because, I just read about it. It makes sense to me. So we now know that everything in the universe is, oh, we talked about this before, didn't we? Is a wave particle duality. Everything, including your body, your car, is a wave and a particle at the same time. There's no difference. No difference between you and light, except for the fact that light has a different wavelength than you, but you're pretty much the same thing as light. That is physics saying this now. And of course, the yogic teachers have already taught this to us or whatever. Um, so this part right here sometimes kind of blows my mind. So you are light. In fact, your body is over 99% space. Were you to examine it under a microscope? Isn't that interesting that we're mostly space? It feels so real, but we're mostly space. And so we're energy, and your mind from your spirit keeps your body together as a solid unit, and your mind does the same thing with other things all around you. So pretty much our mind, the fact that every day we wake up and we make a decision that when I get up and turn to the right, whatever's there is there. Whatever I see is in front of me is there. Whatever's to the left is there. Every day we just have decided this is what I'm going to wake up and see. I'm so happy I'm talking about this because now I'm realizing I can wake up and see something different. And this is why when we start saying, okay, I'm living in this world of abundance. I live here. I do these things. And we're seeing this. Now the universe can come in and begin to like shift our lives to look that way. But the majority of us just wake up day after day after day, creating the same effect in our lives because we just decided every morning when I wake up, this is what I see. When I walk out my front door, maybe I like my neighbor, maybe I don't like my neighbor. And I got this car, I got my little green Kia. And the way I get to the grocery store is this. And some of that is so that we can enjoy living. Like we don't want to have to be, there's a part of us that needs things to be the same, but that same energy that just makes it like everything is just what it is. Like when you go out down the street, turn right again, turn left, you'll see Kroger on the left. That's just where it is. That's how we are about everything. The lamp, the computers, the desk, the chair, the clothes. When I go in my closet, I already know what I'm going to see. I'm just going to go in there and I'm just going to grab it. Right. That's how most of us are living. But it's important for us to realize that we can begin to see things differently in the way that we want. The universe is going to conform to whatever is going on around us. But guess what? Guess what? All of those who are being required to give something up, it will take you letting go of what you have created. This reality. It will take that. Or the eclipses will come through and be like, you know what? You're not doing it. I'm going to make sure it happens. Okay. Okay, all matter is put together using information from your mind and the minds of those around you and the rest of the universe. Now, that is true. We have a collective consciousness, and that's part of our agreement. That's why it's so important for us to come together and make agreements that we live in a universe or a world where everyone gets to eat. Like you don't have to be worthy of eating to get food. We got food for everybody. We live in a society where the collective takes care of its people. We live in a society where, being witchy is accepted. We live in a society where women of color, older women, differently abled women can just be whoever they want to be. This is the world that we live in. This is the world. This is the only option that we have. So we have to be able to hold that together. Okay. Because there is this collective. That's why everybody know where Kroger is. Because we all agreed that's where Kroger is. And I get in my car and that's where I go because we all agreed it. But, we could agree something else comes through. I don't know what. I like Kroger because they have a union for their employees. But okay. Yes, a collective that takes care of people. We just got to hold that energy. Okay, so here's Einstein's equation, which a lot of us have heard. E equals mc squared. And of course, that's energy. Okay, states that the energy contained in any matter is equal to the mass of that multiplied by the speed of light. So this shows you that, I don't even care what that said. I have not taken physics in years. So this is what it says. Let's just read the words here. Even the smallest tiny piece of matter has a tremendous amount of energy in it. Okay. And you and everything else is just energy arranged together by information from the mind. My, what our minds think about matters. Wow. Like I didn't even mean to use the word matters. Like matter, that no pun intended. Okay. So what are you thinking about? I want you to take that time over this next week to focus on what are you thinking about? And that is going to determine, or that helps you to understand why you see things the way that you see them. Okay. Okay. Let me see. So I don't know why I want to just do this. The subatomic world is not static at all. I think this is very important because a lot of times we feel like, well, things just are what they are. No, everything is constantly in motion. Um, the whole universe is forever being recreated anew. You can imagine it all being wiped clean and restored just a little differently every trillionth of a second or so. Um, so another amazing thing is when a particle is created, it is instantly traveling at the speed of light. We did come from light, as many creation stories go. And particles can move forward and backward into time. This is the stuff you are made of and in control of. And this is why I love NLP. It took me a while to kind of start figuring all of this out, and I'm still working to perfect it. But this moving back and forth in time, I remember it was actually first introduced to me by Oprah or a guest on her show during Oprah Change Your Life TV. And they talked about the ability to go back into time and revisit things that happen and, have them happen in a different way. So what I do with NLP now is I go back on the timeline, and I could go back in this lifetime. I can go back into other lifetimes. I can go back generationally. Y'all know I shared with y'all something I saw with my mom and her mom's mom, my grandmother, my great grandmother. Um, and I was able to start clearing some of that up. And so we can do that on our timelines. And this is to me the best way to do all the clearing work that we need to do. I'm not trying to relive. Some of it's going to come out. Some of it I'm going to cry and I'm going to feel every piece of it because the body is the barometer, baby. The body knows everything. Okay. But sometimes we don't want to, it's like, I have cried enough. I just want to get the lesson and move on. And this ability to go back and forth in time on our timeline is what that's all about. Yay. Thank you, Eileen. Welcome. Yay, yay, yay. Okay. So let's see here. Anything else that we want to talk about? I think what I'm going to do before, hold on, let me save this. Man, I am going through this so slowly. Okay. Save. Okay. Because I had the hardest time finding that today. That was part of the reason I was late. Oh, okay. So let's pull a card or two. I'm going to turn on my music because I'm going to have to get off. And y'all know I coach on Thursday morning, and I got to get ready to coach. I'm going to turn this one on. Let's just pull an oracle card for y'all. I hope that y'all liked the discussion today. We talked about mindfulness and the importance of mindfulness. We talked about the eclipses change. A lot of us are you Scorpio at all? Or Taurus? A lot of us are feeling, let's just say it this way. A lot of us are feeling imposter syndrome, and that's a good thing. Like, celebrate when you feel imposter syndrome. That means you're doing something new. And as long as you one click before the next person that you help, and sometimes we don't even need to be a click ahead. We just need to trust spirit to lead, guide, and direct us, So we talked about that, rejoicing in imposter syndrome, and quantum physics, and this notion of how do we create our reality? How do we create the reality that we desire? Some of us want neater homes. How do we create that reality? Some of us just need to call the cleaning people. Just call somebody to help. Just come get all this stuff. Okay. This is crazy. I pulled the great void. We've been talking about the void in terms of quantum physics. Wow. Okay, so let's see. Aditi is her name. Okay. She represents the ether, okay? She's a Hindu mother of all gods and goddesses, the great womb and the primordial abyss that proceeds from creation. From the ultimate void, she gave birth to the stars and planets. Pure divinity. Aditi existed before time as the infinity of mother space. I never heard it described that way. Mother space. Well, that's Newt in my mind too. All creation is conceived and born from the fertile void of her emptiness. Listen to that. This is what we're talking about right here with a happy pocket full of money. All creation is conceived and born from the fertile void of her emptiness. Aditi is the mother of all. Her womb holds the totality of creation yet unborn, vast and limitless, with all the possibilities to come. She is the great mystery that dwells in the ethers, who fulfills every desire and nourishes all life. Aditi comes during the times of the great void that precedes transition. She is the emptiness that must be acknowledged when the way before you is dark and unclear, helping you to face the unknown with surety and without fear. Aditi allows you to see the result of your actions before acting, to use the fertile seed times to gain new perspective and access fresh ideas. So any of y'all that feel like you in darkness, that the way feels unclear, this is Aditi. Because in that moment, she allows you to see the result of your actions before acting. She allows you to use the fertile seed times, the times of planting the seeds, to gain new perspective and access fresh ideas. Aditi holds all possibilities for your future, which becomes clearer through self-reflection and understanding. Before your world is manifested, Aditi brings all possibilities to you for creating the world of substance to come. And this is why I always have to stick with spirituality, because I'm like, this ain't nothing but what we just talked about. Because to me, sometimes metaphysics is just so dry and cold, which is a good thing because it's impartial. It's not showing favoritism, right? So what did I miss? Did I miss something? Yes. All right, goddesses, I'm going to go on ahead and get off. Thank y'all. I hope that this has been helpful. I hope that it has been nourishing to you all. I appreciate you all. And yes, just one more time, join me, Paulette, Eileen. Oh, here we go. In the new moon retreat. It's going to be so, so good. All right, queens. Y'all take care. Thank y'all for being here. Cheers.